Military families have incredible stories of perseverance while navigating frequent moves, deployments, food insecurity, transitioning out of the military, and more. This is the place for them to share those stories, highlighting unique experiences of military families. Welcome to the Professional Dependent Podcast. What's going on, y'all? Hey, it's Mike, your host for the Professional Dependent Podcast. Thank you for tuning in another week. If you have not done so already, please like and subscribe. That way you don't miss any of the videos, or you can also maybe go back and check out some of the other podcasts. This will be the last podcast for 23. This is the last one for 2023. Few reasons for that. Main reason, my wife missed last Christmas because she was gone, deployed, and we really want to make sure that we take the time now to truly enjoy the fact that she's home and that we're in a new state, and that it's just going to be us this year. We're not traveling, we're not going anywhere. We're just staying here. So really looking forward to that. It'll hopefully, in theory, be our first Christmas with snow since we left Alaska. So really looking forward to that. And I just want to take time to be with my family and not take time away from you, the listener, or if you're watching the video, the watcher. Take time away from y'all to listen to me talk about different things that are going on, because this is time to kind of be together and enjoy that time. I know last week we talked about how the holidays are hard, and they really are hard, which is why I don't want you taking time out of your day to listen to me ramble. So take this time, enjoy being with your family, or enjoy being with your friends or whoever. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to take time. We're going to be together. We are planning out 2024. I'm starting up a new job next week, so getting my calendar ironed out with new work requirements that are now going to impact my ability to train, my ability to meal plan. So if you remember 2 weeks ago, I talked about having a calendar, right? So today, actually, whenever my wife gets home, we've already said that we're going to go ahead and start going through mapping out our calendar. That way we have the physical calendar before we then go and add it to the virtual calendar, because the virtual calendar is fantastic. You can go in, you can change things short notice, but the ability to have it written down to where you can go back, and if something gets deleted accidentally, because we have 3 people that have access to the calendar, somebody deletes something on accident, I check this calendar at minimum weekly at the beginning of every week, so I can see what I have coming up, and then I can verify it against this. I know it sounds like a lot, but if you take a little bit of time now to get that ironed out and mapped out, then whenever you go through the year, stuff comes up and you're verifying, you're coordinating calendars with your significant other or anybody else that you have, or work partners or whoever, you have the hard copy, and then, the virtual copy as well, because I like duplicity. Making sure that if something happens to one thing, I've got a backup, and vice versa. If something happens to that, I got a backup over here. So, we're coordinating calendars. We're mapping out things we have going on. We've got a couple big things that are coming up in 2024 that I'm really excited about. Our 20th anniversary. Y'all, my wife and I will have been married for 20 years this summer. That is, I'm going to brag a little bit. That is not something a lot of families can say. Somehow I have convinced her to put up with me for 20 years of marriage, and we were together for almost 3 years before that, because we got married. We started dating when I was 19. Yeah. And I'm about to turn 42. So you do the math. What's that? 20, that's 23 years. About to turn 42, y'all. And honestly, I'm excited. Like I look forward to the next chapter. I've got a couple goals left in powerlifting that I'm going to hit. I want to give one more run in a powerlifting meet with just absolutely no reserves, just hit it as hard as I can. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make one more run at it. And if I qualify for nationals and whichever federation I choose to do in, then I'll do that. And then I'm going to hang it up. I'm going to start lifting for longevity. Again, 42. Some things just don't hold up as good as they used to. I had a little procedure done on my shoulder today to get a calcium deposit removed, or at least help it get removed, if that makes any sense. Basically, they took a needle, and it was really cool. Put an ultrasound on my arm, and you can see the needle go into my shoulder, into that calcium deposit, and they kind of injected it with saline. And as the saline went in, it kind of broke up the calcium, and it got sucked back up into the syringe. It was pretty cool to watch. Not saying I'm above average or anything, but they pulled out like 2.5 syringes of calcium from my shoulder. So if you're going to do it big. Doctor was pretty impressed with how big that deposit was. So that's going to be one of the things that helps me press forward and not feel like I'm being held back by anything for this powerlifting meet that I want to do. So we're going to knock that out. And then we're switching to longevity. Again, 42. I'm starting to look at how I'm going to feel in my 50s and 60s. I want to, and 70s. I want to see my kids graduate high school, start careers, I'm convinced that my oldest is going to be either one hell of an entrepreneur or she's going to run a company. She has got the drive. She's honestly smarter than I am, definitely than I was at her age. I want to see them achieve the things they want to achieve. I want to see my youngest do whatever it is that she's going to do. There's nothing she can't do. I've seen that girl go up against things that she do stuff that she had never done before and excel at it in a very short amount of time. She is, as far as raw talent goes, she is full of just absolute raw talent when it comes to doing anything, especially sports related. She's artistic. She's athletic. She's incredibly smart. She doesn't like you to know she's smart, which is funny. And then my oldest is just out there. Like she is really determined. Work ethic could use a little bit of work. So we're trying to help her with that. But when it's something she wants to do, she's got the drive to do it. And she usually does a pretty good job with it. So, but you know what? She's still a kid. So it's not like she needs to be running a Fortune 500 company tomorrow. She's still a kid. And it's interesting to see what they're actually going to achieve, right? That's one of the fun things about being a parent. This lifestyle of being a military family has exposed our kids to a lot of different situations that most kids aren't exposed to. And I don't mean that in necessarily a negative way, but they already understand how to get through hard things. They're both from a very loving family. At least I like to think they're from a loving family. We care for them. We watch out for them. But I saw an expression one day, and it said, parents are supposed to prepare your kid for the road, not prepare the road for your kid. Something along those lines. And I really love that, because the way we have always treated them is things are going to come up that are tough. It's not always going to be smooth sailing. There's going to be obstacles. There's going to be things that don't go your way. How are you going to handle that? You can come to me for advice, but I'm not going to fix it for you. I will give you advice. I will point you in a direction that I think you should go, but then it's up to you to figure out how to make that choice. And I've done that with everything. I've never said you're going to do this, unless it was something that's just way outside their realm of understanding, or it just was not for a kid to make a decision on. Then of course, obviously we as the parents would make that decision for them in those situations. But for the most part, for things that are just happening in their lives, with their friends, with, hardships, just growing up stuff, we've always just guided and been there as counselors, preparing them for the road, right? That's a great quote. I wish I knew who said it. I don't. It may have even been my oldest daughter that told me about it, but even she was like, this is really good, because this is what I think y'all are doing. Because we don't make it easier for them. Even at home, they have, structure, they have guidelines, they have certain things that they're supposed to do that no kid really likes to do. I mean, it's just basic chores, right? But it's crazy because not a lot of the kids at their school have chores, because we're kind of it's a really nice area. It's a little bit uppity sometimes, but me and my wife just came up different. So we're bringing our kids up different than some of these kids around here. But I want to be able to be there and see how they develop, how they grow, what kind of young ladies they become. And I can't do that if I'm hobbled up, right? I want to be an asset whenever my kids are older. I don't want to be a liability. I don't want them to be, oh, great. Well, we can't go do anything this weekend. Dad's coming to visit and he's just going to want to sit in the chair. I want it to be, hey, sweet, dad's coming. We're going hiking. We're going to go camping, backpacking. We're going to do whatever, kayaking, go to an amusement park, walk around downtown and go check out the other stuff. And them know that dad can keep up, or better yet, they better keep up with dad. So that's why that's the main reason why I'm switching up from more powerlifting focused to longevity. I also have some goals to get back into multisport and do triathlon again. I have one box unchecked on my triathlon wish list. And so I'm going to go back working with my old triathlon coach, who's still a good friend of mine, and we're going to earn that hat. That was the first thing I ever said to him, and I still remember the very first conversation I ever had with him. I was still a police officer, and he walked in with one of his athletes, who eventually became a friend of mine as well, and he had an Ironman hat on. I don't remember which one it was. I don't remember if it was Florida or Coeur d'Alene or whichever one it was. I don't remember, but it was an Ironman hat. And I was like, hey, that's a pretty sweet hat, man. I want to get one of these days. And he was like, well, you can have mine. And I was like, no, that's fine. That's good. I want to earn mine. And he even told me, he said that comment stuck with him because I didn't. You can go. I can go out and buy an Ironman hat right now. I can go on Amazon, eBay, wherever, and buy an Ironman hat from whatever race out there. But I want to earn it. That's something that I have always felt, is that if I'm gonna wear the gear, I need to earn it. I won't even, whenever I've done races in the past, I've done 3 half Ironmans. I won't even wear the gear for that race until I cross the finish line. I remember whenever I did my last half Ironman in 2015. So it's been a minute since I've done multisport. When I did my last half Ironman in 2015, it was the 70.3 Maryland, the Eagle Man 70.3 race, which was a phenomenal race. Insanely hot. Holy crap, it was hot. But they had some really sweet swag. Like, they had some really legit swag, and I would not use any of it until after I crossed the finish line. Like, the backpack for that race was legit. I still have it. It's a legit bag. I love it. But I didn't swap anything out until after the race. After the race was over, yeah, I absolutely used the crap out of the bag. I still have it. It's a great bag. But that's just, anyway, so I'm going to get back with Will with 4D Fitness. And yeah, we're going to check that box and get that Ironman hat. And then I can finally say that I've accomplished everything I want to accomplish with that. And then from there, who knows? Those are my personal goals, right? And what we talked about 2 weeks ago, setting these long-term goals. That is a long-term goal for me. I started that goal. I honestly wanted to do my first Ironman. I've been wanting to do an Ironman since I was probably 10. And that's not an exaggeration, because if you're in my age bracket, then you remember that whenever we were kids, they would show the Hawaii full Ironman, the Ironman World Championship in Kona. They would show it on TV. They would record the race, and then about a month later, they would show it on TV, and you could watch the Ironman, and they would show it for over like an hour and a half. So I never had any idea like how long it truly took, because they broke it up into chunks and stuff. Now, obviously, there's live streams, and you can check the individual athletes, Instagrams and stuff, and see how the different athletes are doing. But it used to be you would, once a year, I would watch the Ironman, and ever since then, I've wanted to do it. And I've always felt drawn to it. It's kind of weird because I'm a bigger guy, especially when it comes to even whenever I did my last half Ironman, the smallest I got down to was like 233. And for a multi-sport athlete, that's still big. So we're going to get down get back down to about that 230 range and do a full Ironman. Maybe see if I can go a little bit lower, but we'll have to wait and see. 126.2 miles is actually no, it's 100. Yeah, 126 is a half Ironman is 56.2. No crap, that's just the bike. 112 is a two. I don't remember what the distance is. Full Ironman's a long way. Takes a lot of people 12 plus hours to do a full Ironman. That's my 2025 goal. Maybe 26. Depends on where we are, depends on what I'm doing in life, and it depends on a lot of things. So that's my really big goal. But yeah. So I really want y'all to enjoy these last few weeks of 2023. I want you to take some time, reflect on this year, reflect on all of it. If you had some huge wins, celebrate them. If you took some knocks, you know what? Journal about them. Grab your journal. My friend Danielle's Beards and Bourbon sticker. This is my journal. If you took some on the chin, write about them. What did you learn from them? And if you don't think you learned anything from your knocks, then you didn't pay attention. Write about your wins, celebrate those. What did you learn from them? What would you not do again? Even though it was a win, what would you not do again in that same situation to make that win even better? What were some things, if you PCS like we did, what were some things you learned during that PCS process that you wish you would have known going into it? Document it. Make sure you save it for the next time. But I can tell you this, no two PCSs are the same. They're all different. They're all going to come up with different weird little situations you're going to have to navigate around. But that doesn't mean you didn't learn something that you can't apply to next time. Maybe you picked up on some organizational things during that PCS process that really helped you that you can implement next time. Was your spouse deployed? I feel like I'm talking about myself right now. Was your spouse deployed during 23? And, did you have to figure out some things on your own? It happens, right? What did you learn? How did you improve? Think about that. There's nothing that's ever happened to you can you not learn from, good or bad. You can learn something from all of it. You can apply that to your life moving forward and improve. So that's my big goal for myself personally, is always to what have I done in the past? How can I improve on it, make it better? I've personally, I think I've got some pretty big wins. I've started putting a lot more focus onto doing my YouTube channel, onto doing this. I've went from about 3 subscribers on YouTube to I think I'm up to 245 now. Not a lot, but it's way more than I had. So, I'm going to work on doing better content for YouTube, so the way I can provide a better product, the way I can contribute to the conversation. And we talked about that last week, about contributing to the conversation. What can I do to improve myself? Well, can I learn how to do content better? Nobody's really going to care if I'm a quote unquote content creator. But if I'm providing valuable information, if I'm providing a service, then I want to provide the best service that I can. I don't get paid for this. I just truly enjoy it. Having my own merchandise, you know how huge this was for me to have my own merchandise? This is something I've had in my head since 2015. No, 2017. I've had the image of the professional Dependa gear in my head. And for 2023 to make that a reality, that was huge. I mean, everything from, the sticker, this is my logo. Whenever y'all see this is my logo. And to have that as a tangible physical product was just wild to me. I almost couldn't believe it was real. But it took being around people, for me virtually, because it's part of a coaching group, that all are kind of pushing for the same thing, then I felt encouraged to do it. So that's why I did it. So sit back, celebrate your wins, really start planning out 2024. Don't go into 24 saying, oh yeah, I'm going to, probably after the new year, I'm going to really plan out my year. By then it's too late. Cause by then, if you wait too long, you're like, oh, well, I'll just wait until after the new year. Then it'll be like, oh, I'll wait until after Valentine's Day. Oh, you know what? Spring break's coming up. Then my kids are out of school. And then before you know it, the year's half gone. You haven't planned anything, you haven't done anything. Do not let the year pass you by. Take this time now to celebrate 23, plan 24. You don't have to plan every detail. Pick 3 or 4 things, one a quarter, you know? Like, okay, first quarter of the year, I'm going to do this. Second quarter of the year, I'm going to do this. Plan out the bigger stuff at least. That way you can make sure that it happens and you're not getting left in the cold or the hot, depending on where you live. I don't know. So if you've stayed this long, thank you. I really do appreciate it. I hope you are enjoying this podcast as much as I am. We've got some big plans for the coming year. I'm going to, like I said, going to work on bringing some more guests y'all's way. Can't guarantee a guest every week. I had a really lucky streak there where was able to have a new guest every week, and that was phenomenal. But people have lives, and I can't go to people because I live in Ohio. So I'm trying to keep the content relevant. I'm trying to keep it to where it's military centered around military families, military spouses. That way it makes sense. The shop for the gear is still open. The link will be in the description. The awesome company has been truly a joy to work with. They hire people on the autism spectrum, and that is who does all of the work. I actually just got a thank you card from one of the workers the other day. I thought that was super awesome. So yeah, so go to the shop, buy some gear. This hoodie, I love this hoodie. It's so comfortable. It's actually very warm. So yeah, thank you for tuning in. Y'all have a fantastic rest of your year. I hope 2024 rocks for you. And cheers, y'all. Thanks. Bye.